Good morning. Good morning.
I don't think it's on. Is it on?
Just keep going. Good morning, everyone. I'm Christian and this is Carter, and we have our first round of states today at Boyertown Stadium at 4 o'clock.
It's $3 to get in, and I hope to see you there.
This is just a reminder that we'll be having our final Tuesday morning prayer and worship time for this year, so we hope to see a bunch of you there. And also on Thursday at 7:30, we'll be having the last worship night this year in the theater.
Believe it or not, we're starting to think about Arts Day 2020. Woo! Okay. We are changing a few things. This year we had last couple of years we had a class technology piece. So for next year, you can still do a technology piece, but it'll be under the visual arts grading category. We are including a new category this year, craft. 1 entry per class is required. This is some kind of crafty kind of thing that it can involve technology or not. We are suggesting, and we'll have more suggestions in the fall, but woodworking, jewelry making, things like that. We know that there are a lot of talents out there that haven't been used, and we're just hoping some of that will be fun for you. I'm here to introduce the theme for 2020. It's a theme that has been suggested by several students and we talked about as a group. The theme for next year is light. Light, think in terms of light as a type of energy, light as part of the electromagnetic spectrum and radiation given off of stars like the sun. Think about it as something that makes vision possible. Think of the sky or the light in the sky, a variation of color, as something spiritual, as truth, as a beacon, as something that's not heavy, or just a little of something, a little bit of rain, or he's not heavy, he's my brother. A little piece of cake, consumed calories, as in settling somewhere, like alighting on something, lighter than air, being light-fingered, as in stealing something. Or light-footed, as in dance, light-headed, as in being dizzy, lightning, as in the thunderstorm. I think we can all relate to that. Light-hearted, as in happy, being a light touch, light emphasis, and so on. Much more coming this fall, but think of all variations of light. I think we'll have fun with this one. Thank you for the suggestions.
So I'm also here to announce something exciting, which is our fall musical selection, which is going to be Newsies this year. So some of you know to be excited about this. Yes, you can clap. Yes, it's going to be fun. Okay. So Newsies is based on the 1992 motion picture and inspired by a true story. It features Tony Award-winning score, and it has now classic songs such as Carrying the Banner, Seize the Day, Santa Fe. It's packed, according to the website, with non-stop thrills and a timeless message, perfect for the whole family and every audience. We picked Newsies this year because it is very different from Sound of Music, and we always are trying to have a variety of theater experiences for those of you involved in the theater program. It is a high dance show, high energy. It has a number of leads, but it also has a very involved song and dance chorus, which will allow for singers who aren't strong dancers, for dancers who aren't strong singers. There are even some speaking parts that have no singing or dancing involved. So I'm very excited that this is going to be a show that many, many people can get involved with and learn and thrive and show off some gifts that they have not shared with us in terms of dance before, because a number of you work at dance outside of our campus, and I want to be able to get that onto our stage. So very excited about this. It's just hot off the presses. So, very excited, fall musical, Newsies.
A lot of exciting things as we gather for our last chapel of the year. And before we pray, I'd like to read the words to hymn number 1 in our blue hymnals. What is this place? What is this place where we are meeting? Only a house, the earth its floor. Walls and a roof sheltering people, windows for light, an open door. Yet it becomes a body that lives when we are gathered here and know our God is near. Words from afar, stars that are falling, sparks that are sown in us like seed. Names for our God, dreams, signs, and wonders sent from the past are what we need. We in this place remember and speak again what we have heard, God's free, redeeming word. And we accept bread at his table, broken and shared, a living sign. Here in this world, dying and living, we are each other's bread and wine. This is a place where we can receive what we need to increase, God's justice and God's peace. Will you pray with me? Lord God, we thank you for this place, for this holy place. We thank you for the people who are gathered here. And we come to you as people who are broken, people who are in need of healing, people who are in need of forgiveness, and people in need of love. And we thank you for all that has been offered here in the way of evidence of your work in the world throughout this year. And Lord, I pray as we leave here today, heading into our summers, that you would keep that light alive within us. May it grow, may it develop, may it burn with a deeper fire. Lord, may we learn to grow in you, may we learn to love, may we continue to learn how to be people of justice and people of peace. Thank you. Amen.
So here we are. Last week of school, last time gathered together here in this place until next year. Some of you have a lot of emotions going through today. Some of you are going to be saying bye to people this week. So let's just take a moment to sort of recognize where we are and to allow our emotions to settle so that we're ready to engage today. So just take a couple deep breaths. So today we're going to have several students start by reflecting on this past year and by thinking about goals and anticipation for next year. And so I hope you are able to think for yourself about the events of this past year and what seeds have been planted in you, what sparks have gone off and have been sown in you that have brought new passions and ideas. And think about how you could carry that into the summer and into next year. So come on up.
Hi, I'm Carly, and I'm here also speaking with Johnny and Kaylee, who are next year's seniors, to reflect on this year and consider goals for next year. I identified some of the moments this year that I believe were defining for me, for the junior class, and for us as a school. And with these moments in mind, I want to share some hopes and dreams I have for the upcoming next year. My first example of growth in this year are chapels and the different ventures we've been on through them. By jumping on board with Choice Chapels, we allowed our chapel experience to take a step in a great new direction that emphasizes individuality and uniqueness of every person's spirituality at Dock. Worship nights also allow for everyone to grow from where they are in their spirituality and whichever direction the Spirit is leading them. I do agree with the idea stated in our last Tough Questions Chapel that our generation is leaning towards a new way of religion, and I think continuing to be enthusiastic about new chapel ideas next year will help define a new path and take part in where the new wave of God's Spirit is leading us. Even if you have no experience with anything spiritual here at Dock, I encourage you to explore and to be curious, if not enthusiastic, in the next coming year. Try new things in this area, and it will benefit you and the whole school around us. Another thing that I think was really awesome this year was Banquet. I personally think that Banquet this year was an example of another stepping stone of growth and unity for the juniors in the room right now, and I encourage the sophomores here to be open to the idea of helping your class plan Banquet next year. Help your peers make memories and make an impact on your classmates' year. I also encourage all of you to consider how you could contribute to school activities in the next year to help your peers make memories too. With those examples in mind, I want to share some goals with you that I think will give us a vision and direction for next year. Inclusivity and unity in diversity. God calls us to love everyone, not agree with everyone. We have to learn that we can do both at the same time. In fact, we can only truly love others if we are able to love them despite differing opinions. We can challenge ourselves to see where we might need to be more inclusive, and instead of being defensive by ignoring or making fun of others, we can try to expand our horizons. Even though it's way easier said than done, it will benefit us individually and as a whole. Enthusiasm, yay. I'm sorry guys, I'm enthusiastic, I guess, haha, anyway. Okay, moving on. Enthusiasm, or simply a positive attitude, can completely change every aspect of your life, and that's something that I personally firmly believe in. I encourage you to step out of your old habits for next year. Step out of your routine, step out of your stereotypes, out from what others expect of you, and try something new. Put your best effort into something you never thought you would do, and you will grow, I promise you. Boldness, that's my last one. Whatever you do next year, be bold. Stay true to your heart, and guided by your moral compass, stand up for what you know is right. Be supportive to others when they need help, and defend those who are being ridiculed or bullied. Oh my word. Make peace here on our campus. Be the positive change in this world rather than being part of its problems. Be honest and direct with others rather than going behind their back or trying to, one-up them. By living out one or all of these goals, we will grow as individuals and our school, and will become more and more the place that we want it to be, a place where we feel supported and we can thrive. So let's all grow together next year.
All right, my name is Jonathan Anderson. I'm a junior, and I'm going to talk about setting individual goals. How many of you have ever set a goal? Setting goals gives you motivation to work towards your desired result. When you set a goal, it's important that you make it SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, and time-bound. This is the criteria I use for setting goals that I make every summer and at the beginning of every school year. This year I set goals in 3 areas of my life: academic, spiritual, and athletic. Academically, I aim to receive A's on my report card, specifically focusing on advanced math and AP physics. I knew this would be a challenging goal to accomplish, but I knew it would help motivate me for the upcoming school year. As school started back up, my goal was even harder to accomplish than I imagined. It was difficult for me to maintain the grades I wanted and the heavier workload than the previous years of high school. Even though I didn't accomplish my goal, I learned a lot about how to manage my time and the best ways for me to study. Spiritually, I wanted to read the Bible in a year. Using the Daily Audio Bible podcast, I made sure to start off every morning listening to a passage from the Bible and having it explained and how it can apply to my life. I'm still pursuing the goal, and I'm glad that I'm staying on track and should finish by the end of the year. Athletically, I aimed at beating my cross-country PR by a minute. I knew I would have to work hard to get this goal, so I made sure to give my best effort every practice and every meet. Before I knew it, the season was almost over and I was approaching my goal. Finally, at my last race of the season, I was able to hit my goal. Overall, I learned many lessons in all 3 areas of my life. First being that you won't always hit your goal, and that's okay. You won't always achieve all your goals, but you can still learn important lessons. For example, I know how to better manage my time and as well as better studying habits. Second, I've learned that your hard work does pay off. When you set a goal, you can't expect to reach it without putting in the work. One of the best ways to learn this is through sports, but it can also apply to playing an instrument, taking part in drama, or serving in a leadership position. When you put in the work, you see the results. It's important to set goals, and I hope you can use them in the future to motivate yourself to achieve more.
Hi, I'm Kaylee, I'm a junior. I want to start off by reflecting on us junior class, and also by listing some goals for our school. It's hard for me to believe that we, class of 2020, will soon be starting our last year here at Dock. This year has definitely been a year to remember. From our Arts Day performances to our first year at Banquet and everything in between, it was a year full of great memories that will last us forever. We have all grown so much over the past 3 years, from the boys' freshman year, who barely said a word to us girls, to now being able to come together at worship nights, surrounding each other, worshiping God hand in hand. So here goes senior year, a year full of many unanswered questions, stress, and decisions. This year will be one of the most important years in our lives to determine our future. So I came up with a list of a couple of goals for us as a class to strive for to make next year the best possible. The first goal for our senior year and school is to become better people in our classroom, in the halls, and in our community, to become role models to the grades below us and to the community that surrounds us. We can do this by being loving, kind, and supportive to our fellow peers and teachers, showing forgiveness to those who have hurt us in the past, and reaching out to those who we've never spoken to. Another part of this is continuing to learn and respect each other's differences, whether that's attending a sports event, going to a musical, or praying over each other. One way I've seen relationships mended and new friends formed is through worship nights. They have provided a space of freedom for our school and our class, and have given us opportunities to pray over people we have never spoke to sing next to people new, and rejoice that we all have one thing in common, our love for Jesus. It allows us to break down the walls of insecurity, hate, and anger, and build up new walls of love, fearlessness, and forgiveness. So I would encourage you next year to try and go to a worship night, even if you don't know God or think that you don't belong, because you never know how God or someone can just touch your life in just one night. Our second goal is to work hard to establish better relationships between our class and our school. This is one area I think is extremely important for us, class of 2020. This is a year we need to work hard to go out of our comfort zones and establish relationships that will last us a lifetime. I want our class to be able to have each other's back through the ups and the downs, and be able to look back and be thankful that we carried each other through the hard times, and celebrated together in times of joy. Lastly, I want us to make an impact on the school. This could look like getting involved with Arts Day, speaking in chapel, giving your best in sports practice, or cheering on a team. We need to step out of our comfort zone and try new things, because we never know how we can grow from them. In my own experience, stepping out of my comfort zone has led me to some of my best friends, and also mended relationships that were broken. So the 3 goals I want us to focus on next year are becoming better role models, establishing better relationships, and also making an impact. A verse that I came up with that we can use us to help us guide us next year is, so whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. So, class of 2020, we've made so many memories as a class so far, but we still have a year to go. Our class has so much potential to make such a huge impact on Dock. So let's use all our God-given abilities to make senior year one we won't forget.
I will simply be reiterating what those 3 have spoken about already, and we did that without communicating with each other. I do think we have much to learn as we reflect on this year. So here are some random thoughts based upon a quick overview of this past year. We know that vaping is a problem. Every single one of you knows that. We know it's still a problem. And while some of you who thought our speaker, Mr. Fialco, was brought in just to scare you, or you thought that he was not passing on correct information to you, my hunch is that deep down you know that he was speaking truth with the evidence that we have so far on this topic. I need to say that for your reaction was very similar to the reaction my peers would have had in the 70s about smoking cigarettes. Don't kid yourselves, folks. Vaping is not healthy. 2, we talk way too much about each other. We talk way too much about each other. We gossip about others on social media or behind people's backs in incredibly unkind and hurtful ways. These are a few thoughts on gossip from the book of Proverbs, and I'd encourage you to listen to them. I will say them each twice, and then think about how they apply today, now. A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends. A gossip separates close friends. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. A gossip betrays a confidence. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. A gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid anyone who talks too much. A gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid anyone who talks too much. Wood without a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. In reiterating the first one, and just the one part, a gossip separates close friends. Folks, I've seen too many of you separated by your words. You pass on things about others and to others that you should not. You overhear a conversation that you think you hear and you run to tell others about it. Or even worse, you run to pass that conversation on to the person being talked about. Folks, no one needs to hear all of your thoughts. No one needs to hear all of your thoughts. Some things, frankly, are better left unsaid. We hurt each other passing on what someone else has said about another. Sometimes it is best to just hush up. Third, your grades now do matter. That quarter grade in a freshman class is as important as a quarter grade in a senior class, the exception being honors and AP classes. That world cultures grade is as important to you in your GPA as your senior econ or government class. Don't wait until later to work hard on your grades. And I want to pass on one quick story. I was quite proud of this sophomore student who was lacking grade achievement his freshman year, one class in particular. He bore and bears to this day the consequences of his grade. Now, what I was proud about was his determination to not let that happen again. This year, in another class, when he went back into patterns and a grade was dramatically low, we had a quick conversation. We used what had happened that prior year as an example, and he said he would get that grade up. Just last week, he texted a picture to me of his grade in Schoology for the quarter, which showed an A. There was pride. There was accomplishment because he had to work hard for that grade. He did it, and his efforts paid off. He showed grit, and he showed determination. 4, every single one of us in this room has made mistakes this year. Every single one of us. So this is something I'm going to ask you to ponder. What is a mistake you made this year? Think right now of a regret you have based upon a choice you made sometime during the year. It might have been in school or out of school. It may be something that involved another or others, or something done in isolation. But what is one mistake you made this year or regret you have? My question to you is, what are you going to learn from that mistake? Are you willing to embrace that failure and learn from it? Are you not going to repeat that same mistake? Are you going to apologize if you impacted somebody else negatively? Perhaps you need to be kinder to yourself. Perhaps you need to live a more balanced life, taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. Are you willing to help others do the same? Learn from your mistakes. So, some directions to ponder this summer before we begin the next school year. And perhaps we all need to practice or could practice some of these things over the course of this summer. 1, be kind. Be kind to each other. 2, have hope. Have hope. 3, appreciate who you have in your life right now. Don't wait to express your appreciation to someone. Some folks learned just this morning of a dear person in their life that is moving on. 4, appreciate what you have. I challenge you all to look around this campus. Generations of people have worked selflessly and with great sacrifice to make this place possible to you right now. This place, look at this place. Generations before you had the foresight to see what could be. You are in process of being part of something much bigger than just yourself. This place does not start or stop with any one of us in this room. It is our responsibility to pass this place on better than we found it. We all, every one of us in this room, has a responsibility to the generations to come. Learn from the hard times, they will be plentiful. Savor the joyful times, they will be sweet. Show grit, be determined. Give forgiveness when requested, and show forgiveness when not earned. Juniors, it is time to be seniors. Not so that you can be top dog or you can lord it over others, but so you can lead by example. Lead well. Lead with your gifts. Lead with your empathy and your care for others. Lead with your work ethic. Lead with compassion. Be men of good character. Be women of good character. Define the class of 2020 as one of good character. Sophomores, you are a strong class. Bring joy to those around you, as so many of you have brought joy to me. It is time to be upperclassmen and upperclasswomen. You have incredible gifts as a group of students and as a group of caring young adults. You have joy and passion, 2 qualities this school needs. You, the class of 2021, you need to bring both that joy and passion to Dock this fall. Freshmen, you, like the rest of us, you are still defining who you are. You have gotten your feet wet during this first year of high school. But I do believe that some of you are beginning to trust what we say is the Dock difference. You are beginning to get a glimpse of what it means to live in community. You are beginning to understand that the adults on this campus do really care for you, and that they're holding you to a high standard as a manifestation of that care for you. You, the class of 2022, I so look forward to you discovering the abundant gifts you have been given as beloved children of God. 1 Timothy 4, 5 verses. Commanded, teach these things. Do not let anyone look down on you because you are young. Set an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Do not neglect your gift, which was given to you through prophecy when the body of elders laid their hands on you. Watch your life and your doctrine closely. Persevere in them, because if you do, you'll be safe. You will save both yourself and your hearers. You have 2 full days of classes left. You have 2 full days of finals in this final week of the 2018-2019 year. Show grit. Be determined. Have hope, and be joyful. And I wish you all a fun, productive, yet rejuvenating summer. Be kind to others and yourself. Now, as alluded to earlier, there's one additional faculty transition that I need to pass on to you. Ms. Grimes this summer will be moving to the Lancaster area to accept a job at Lancaster Mennonite School. Where are you, Ms. Grimes? There she is. We will miss your presence on this campus. You have filled incredibly large shoes, and I don't know that anybody else could have done it the way you did it. So I am very grateful for that. You did it with grace, and you did it with dignity. Your professionalism and musicianship are gifts you brought to both the faculty and the students you taught and mentored. We will miss you. You go with our blessing. Thank you very much.
We're going to end our chapel with our song that we have had seeds throughout the year. As they come up to get set, I just want to thank you as your pastor for your support, for your honesty, for the way that you have become involved in leading this chapel this year. I want to reiterate what Carly said about you're the church of the future, even the church now, and your voice matters, and we need to hear it. And so I just want to encourage you to continue to speak up, to continue to give creative and new ideas, and to never stop. I want you to take a moment right now to remember a chapel that really stands out to you, or a moment where either you were extremely challenged, you maybe stood up and realized you didn't agree with something, maybe you had the Holy Spirit speak to you in a new way, something really touched your heart. I just want you to remember that right now, because every single one of us in this room has grown in some way. And so I want you to think of that moment as we sing our song.
Finish well. Classes begin in 5 minutes.